All right, welcome back. I forget what episode it is, but it's a couple days later, and yeah, I kind of took a little bit of a break. So essentially, what happened was I was looking at what I had and trying to figure out next steps, and it felt all a bit too daunting or whatever. So I just had no motivation to go back to it. I did do a little bit of development, which I'll show in the next development time lapse. Terms of a recap for last episode, I believe I had like managed to have. Oh yeah, so I managed to do the target spawner thing, right? Let me just double check that. Yeah, so I was able to fix a lot of bugs and then set up my target spawner and refactored logic inside of all my target stuff. And then yeah, since then, like I've just had no motivation to record a devlog or anything like that. And then like just trying to figure out what's the next step. Okay, I've got my target stuff. Essentially, what I've done, I've renamed all target stuff into hittable. So I've got hittable. This is what I've done since the last devlog, and I'll show it in the development time lapse. I'll like note it down so that you can see. But essentially, what I've done is yeah, renamed everything as hittable. So now I've got hittable spawner, hittable spawn point. It didn't make sense calling them target, so I called them hittable. I got my scripts folder. I made inside my scripts folder. I've got another folder called hittables just to like organize it a bit. Like I said, I didn't like. I just felt a bit demotivated because it just felt a bit daunting trying to tackle this. So then I've got my hittable scene. This is what all hittables are going to be derived from. They're going to be derived from this hittable here. So then I got my progress hittable. Let me just do this so that. So then I've got my progress hittable, which is the same as hittable really. I've got my power up hittable, which I've just made it circle, and hazard hittable, which I made it a pill. I've got all three, and then I've got scripts for them as well. Yeah, so I renamed everything hittable, which took a while. I feel like I could have done it quicker, but if I did like Control F, but I didn't do that. Renamed everything hittable. We got hittable info, so we're passing in the kind now. We got hittable kind, which is an enum where it's either a progress hittable, a power up hittable, or a hazard. I'm not sure if I showed you this before. Then we got hittable spawner, same thing as before, except now we're passing in. I believe we're passing in the kind now. Spawn hittable, and we're giving in the hittable, which should now. Oh yeah, so on hit or destroy, we're passing in info, and inside info, we're passing in the kind that it is, whether it's a power up, a hazard. Where's my hazard hittable? Oh, I haven't made a hazard script yet. But then so we've done that, and all I've done is so for my hittable is this script here, and then I was playing around with how am I going to make this work. So for my power up hittable, you can see the script that it's using is power up hittable instead of the normal hittable script. So inside here, essentially on ready, I'm changing the so it's power up hittable is a power up hittable class derived from hittable, which in and of itself is a hittable class derived from static body 2D. And all these values, these export tuning values up here, on ready for the power up hittable, I'm changing it. So I'm making the kind into a power up, setting the health to 1, normal hit damage is 1, super shot damage is 1. You get no points, you get uh no points on destroy. And then also I found out that for derived classes it's very important to call base.ready so that for the parent class it's gonna run the ready as well. The ready method as well. So I did that, played around with that, And yeah, the one problem with like, and I don't know if I'm gonna figure it out or there's a way to do it. The one problem with deriving a class and then setting the values here is you can see like for my progress hittable, because it's the hittable, like the parent class, I can set like, okay, set this to be a progress hittable, set the health to this, set whatever, yeah. For the power up hittable, that's not the case. You can see here the kind is progress, the health is 3, da 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 da. So I have to go into the code to change these values if I want to play around with stuff, which is a bit annoying. I didn't manage to do. So I do have a hazard hittable script. It says there. Where is that though? Let me try to find it. Oh, it's inside my scenes. Oh, oh, I want to move that. Okay. Okay, so I do have my hazard hittable as well, but I've not done anything with it. So hazard hittable should act like a normal hittable just for now. Let me show what my game looks like. Okay, so let's show what it's looking like. So for my hittable spawner, oh, I did change my hittable spawner as well. Passed in the hittable scene, power up scene, hazard scene, and then change spawn hittable to take whatever packed scene it is, right? And since they're all derived from the hittable class, I can just say instantiate hittable and it will work. So here I'm passing in spawn hittable, the normal hittable, two hittable scenes, spawn hittable, spawn a power up scene, spawn hittable, spawn a hazard scene, and for each of them different positions. Um, and yeah, just the same as before, just passing in the hittable. So you should see two normal hittables, which is free health, one hit, one damage on a normal hit, free damage on a super shot hit. You should see a power up hittable, which should be set due to the derived class that is going to be just one hit and it will be gone. One normal hit and it will be gone. And hazard hittable, so you should see a different shape. However, since I've not overridden anything inside the hazard hittable script, it should act like a normal hittable. So yeah, let me build and run. Now I'm getting a debugger. What's the problem? Run. Yeah, now it works. So you can see here, like I said before, we got our three normal hittables, our power up hittable, and our hazard hittable. I wanted to make that triangle, but didn't have that shape. So, like I said before, I've set the power up to just be hit to destroy on one hit, no matter what the hit is, even a normal hit. These should be three normal hits and one power up hit, and the same for hazard, three normal hits or one power up hit, since I did not override the script. So if I try to hit these on a normal hit, you see that's still. Let's do a power up for that one. See one hit there. Uh, and let's try hit the. That's two, three, gone. Let's try hit. If I hit the power up once, it should go. So let's go. Boom. There we go. And then the hazard, since I didn't override it, you see that it still survives basically. So yeah, like I said, it was getting a bit overwhelming. Um, trying to like it's really just understanding the systems and architecture and how I'm gonna like set all of this up. And it felt a bit daunting, and I had no like, I don't know, it was just a bit too much, and I just stepped away for a bit. But I'm back now. I think I've like sort of understood. In terms of next steps, what I want to do, I've spent far too long explaining. So I've got my scripts for the individual, like a normal hittable, which I'm guessing I would need to make a derived class for a power up, for a progress hittable. So the progress hittables are that's for level stuff. You're gonna get really good points for that, and then also it should let a future level manager, which I might create later, let them know, all right, all the progress hittables have been done. Um, progress onto level 2, where now you're gonna have more stuff to do and there'll be more effects on the screen or whatever. Power up hittables are just standard, like it doesn't matter what level, it's just gonna try figure it out basically. And then hazard, same thing, but each of them should have like different effects. So in terms of next steps, I'm gonna flesh out this power up hittable script a bit more. I just want to see if I'll be able to. Firstly, I want to see if I'm able to make these derived variables tunable inside the inspector. I don't think I will be able to, but I just want to see if I'm able to do that. And the second thing I want to do is, and this is the main thing, is I just want to. It won't be the final like whatever the power up hittable script it, because the way it's gonna work. Just talking about power up hittable, right? Is this will also, even though this is derived from the normal hittable, right? I will have like multiple things deriving from this power up hittable. This is also going to be something that's other things are going to drive, because I'll have multiple other hittables. I'd be like, I'd have a special type of power up that makes paddle bigger, right? Paddle bigger. It will like there'll be one where it slows the game down, There'll be one where I don't know, you get 2x points for a while. There'll be, I don't know, something else where you know clear screen. Not final like choices. I might not implement all of them, but the point is I'm gonna make this like sort of the for any power-ups that I want to implement. I would just need to take this power-up hittable script, derive from it, and then decide, all right, what effect do I want this power-up to have? All right, let me like tweak things specific for this. So that's the overall architecture. Then I'll do the same for like hazard hittable and progress hittable or whatever. With that said, I just want to see if I'm able to actually affect something using the power up hittable. So if I'm able to destroy it, then do my normal hittable stuff, but also do the effect that this power up should have. So I'm gonna see if let's do something simple like make the paddle bigger. So I want a way where I'm just gonna pretend this is a unique power up. Power up should make the paddle bigger. On destroy, make paddle bigger for, let's say a minute. Let's say 30 seconds, right? Because I don't want to wait a minute every time. On destroy, make paddle bigger should keep all other aspects of hittable normal. I just want to see if I'm able to do that. Understand what is the syntax for doing something like this. Then I would know, okay, a better structure of how to structure this power up hittable parent class, and then in my other derived classes, how I would write the script to do unique things basically. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. Try to figure out a way to do that, and then I'll come back and then explain how I did it. So Right, I was about to go eat and then go on to do whatever I was gonna do. But I thought this is a good point to just pause, explain some things and whatnot. So, I've got my hittable in hit me. If it's destroyed, set is destroyed to true. Trigger the on destroyed method, and then emit hit or destroy, and then delete the hittable. So on destroyed is just here protected virtual void on destroy. So the generic does nothing. This is just for any derived classes, power ups, hazards, the different types of power ups and hazards to tweak and alter the specific power up or hazard. So inside power up hittable, we've got our on destroy, and then obviously I'm just setting it up to test it out. Okay, let's just pretend this power up is to increase the paddle size. So I've called increase paddle radius increase amount, which is set to 150, and I've set the duration to 15 seconds. So inside increase paddle radius, I'm calling paddle dot increase max radius equals increase amount, which is here. I've just made a public method just to increase max radius by set amount, then redraw it basically. That's just redraw for, I believe, the debug. You know, the debug, just to show how big the paddle is. So I've done that, tested it out. Then I tried to find a way to wait for 15 seconds and then see where it's at. Let me just show what it looks like now. I don't think I need to show the input, but so we got our power up hittable, power up effects here. Luckily it shows it inside its own power up hittable instead of the generic. Let's play. So you'll see that once we hit, remember the circle is the power up. So if I hit anything else, or let's say I destroy something else, doesn't happen, nothing happens. And then let's hit the power up, which should be here, and keep an eye on the radius of this paddle here. So I believe I'll be able to hit it if I just, there we go, and you can see it's gotten bigger. It's a bit longer to charge, but that's just natural. And yeah, you can see it says, is this thing even working? Which is my print statement that I set. So then my next step was, okay, this is a power up, so it's not going to be forever. I want it to wait a certain amount of seconds, then revert back. So I set this in increased paddle, increase the max radius, did the print statement, is this thing even working? Like I said, I like being jokey on my print statements. Then await to signal, git tree, create timer, power up duration in seconds. This is the syntax that we've seen before with my game manager when dealing with Supershot. So it's waiting 15 seconds, then I'm saying, all right, now revert it. 15 seconds is up, buddy. But you can see here, if we're ignoring everything else, we hit the power up, it triggers, is this thing even working? And then after 15 seconds, we can test it now. Let's just test it here. If we hit it and then set it, if we wait 15 seconds, that will never get triggered. And I was a bit confused. Oh, why is this happening? I need to figure this out, and something's going wrong. Maybe I'm pausing the timer for in a wrong way. You can see 15 seconds is up. That never gets triggered. The rest of the method doesn't happen. And I realized, okay, this never gets triggered because I remembered this is getting destroyed. So I remember here on destroyed, we're calling on destroyed, emit hit or destroy Q3. So by the time 15 seconds are up, the power up is gone, it's dead. So a solution would be, I was thinking maybe game manager didn't realize, all right, now my game manager is like far too big. I don't want to just make it even bigger, man. It's going to be unwieldy to deal with. So the best way forward is actually to have a status effects manager, so a dedicated persistent node or object inside whenever we're playing the game. And the only point of this status effects manager is to for these objects, these hittables, before they die, to call to the status effects manager, say, hey, I'm about to die, trigger, you know, the max radius larger power up, um, and trigger it for 15 seconds. And so we'd call it to the status effects manager. Status effects manager would get the signal, or maybe have a method called directly. I'm not sure. And then once that happens, it will get the amount of seconds it needs to do the status effects, and then deal with. All right, he's asking me to make the paddle bigger, so do all the code to make the paddle bigger. Do it for 15 seconds, then revert it back. And that will be for all hittables. Would call to this. You could call it hittables manager. I don't like that. It's a bit too vague. I think status effects manager is a better name. So status effects manager would be the persistent object. So I was gonna eat first, then try to implement that. Then I thought I'm gonna end up implementing everything, then forget all my steps about like everything that I did. So what's best is to pause it for now, explain what I've done so far and what the plan is next. And then yeah, so next I'm just gonna eat quickly, have a quick snack, and then get on with trying to implement the status effects manager and try to get it working. Alright, so that is done. This is probably going to be the end of the devlog after I explain it, because I don't really want to do too much. I'm still trying to get back into the swing of things, and I'm happy with what I've done for now. So what have I done? I created the status effect manager. I asked like sort of AI, sorry. Um, I asked uh, I asked AI sort of to help with this, and it asked me to do something called instance, and an instance to this, and then use instance inside power up hittable, but it wasn't working. And it turned out I didn't really need instance at all, but I'm gonna leave it there anyways. I'm not sure what it does. It doesn't seem to break anything. But inside my status effects manager, I've got apply timed effect, action apply. So action is something that I've just come across now. Didn't know that I could just pass a method in, and so I could do like apply power, apply increase radius as a method inside here, and then this method would run that method. I didn't actually know that. So I give it the method to run. I give it the method to, in order to revert whatever effect it was, and I give it the duration, how long I want it to be applied for. And so it runs the method, waits 15, however long, and then reverts it. So inside my hittable, my generic hittable, I've got here, up here, I've got right next to game manager node, I've got status effect manager, status effect manager node. And same thing with game manager. What I'm doing is get node, status effect manager, give it the path, If it's null, then throw an error. Else do stuff. That's for future if I need to do anything. And then inside my powerup hittable, which since it's derived, it should have access to the status effect manager node. I'm going into here on destroy, increase paddle radius, give it the amount, and then inside this method, what I'm doing is calling this status effect manager dot apply timed effect. Say paddle dot increase max radius, give it the amount to increase by. Then the revert method, I'm actually giving it the same method. This isn't going to be final code. I know it's bad practice, but I'm just to make it get it working for now. I'm giving it the same method, but just negating the amount. And I actually stumbled upon. I didn't really think about it. I thought, oh, I might have to create a way to store the value of the default value and whatnot. And then I just realized, oh, I can just like take it away actually, and it should work. And then give it the power up duration seconds, which is 15 seconds, and it should work now. So if we get my, let's get my clock out. Let's pin that to the screen. If we run, build, run, what that should do is go here. If I just slightly move it, so I'm going to try to hit this node here. Sorry, not node. I'm going to try to hit the power up hittable over here. Should go. Once destroyed, it should increase it for 15 seconds and then revert it. So let's try that. Boom. Go here. So after 15 seconds, it should be less than that. Let's just like play it just to see what happens. So everything plays like normal. Let's do that. And there we go. After 15 seconds, or roughly 15 seconds, it goes back. So that's pretty good actually. Let me just test what happens. So let's do this. It's increased now. Okay, so power ups seem to be okay. It's not that bad. Let's do power up again. And yeah, after 15 seconds, it goes back to normal. So that's good. That's going to be the end of the devlog. Like I said, I only wanted. I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things right for now. And then tomorrow I can actually get some more work done and actually get my teeth into this. In terms of next steps, this is fine for now. This is fine for now. I want to go into paddle and actually try to refactor it a little bit so that it's a little bit more safer for me to increase or decrease the max radius. Right now I'm directly affecting the max radius and I'm doing like a roundabout way, just negate the amount just to revert it back. I also have to keep into account, you know, what if I hit that sort of status effect twice? What if I hit a increase paddle amount, but then also a hazard that decreases the amount? I have to take into account stuff like super short duration, and during that slowdown, does it also slow down the time? Does it not slow down the time? Stuff like that, but also like a way where I'm not directly manipulating the max radius. I'm actually like maybe have a separate variable where I'm stacking on top of that instead of directly doing the max radius, because internally I feel like this max radius is what I set it in the inspector. That should be the absolute default, and in my mind that shouldn't be touched or manipulated because things can get dangerous. The more complex things get and other systems are touching this variable, it could get to a point where something's manipulating it in a way and I'm unable to track it and it's unable to go back to its default. So this should always be the default. So the next step would be go into paddle and try to refactor this in a way where it's a little bit more safer for me to apply effects and stuff like that. That's for next time. But today, I'm happy with what I've done, getting back into the swing of things. And yeah, so I'll see you guys later. Take care.